Hey all, Coach Life back again with some more snakes on the Roller Snakes modded world. So, where were we? Well, we've got some food on the go. Water is running low, and that's going to be our main focus just at the moment. I'm going to set some priority 9 tasks here to get done. Problem we've mainly got here is it's a little bit toasty, but if we get it done quick, then we should be fine. Yeah, that's the plan anyway. Whether my dupes will actually do that is another matter. So we've got our oxygen production here, which is running a little bit over pressure, so we've got to be careful with that, otherwise we'll be getting popped eardrums. Set direction, yeah, that's both ways at the moment, that's fine. Mainly they'll be coming out, but I just don't want them getting germs all over the pitch pump. Can we get this done? Yeah, that'd be good. Get in, get the pump done, and we can seal it back up again. Would be easy if you're still on the ladder, mate. You gotta reach back from there. Taking the time to get this done. Managed to get a... Oh no, we haven't got the... have we achieved that yet? Yes, we have. So we better get that down. That will make a significant boost to morale. It's another 6 points of morale for the nature reserve. Got this done, that's all done. Can seal that back up again then. No, we can't because someone's in there. I'm going to leave this bit of sand here because it will stop the oil drifting across towards the pump. It will gradually flatten out, and then it will just sit behind here. Yeah, it's a little bit toasty up there, guys. You might want to just, you know, get it done and get the hell out of there. At least you're not getting scalded, I suppose. That's one plus. So previous maps I've played with a lot more algae terrariums than this, and that can give some significant problems to overpressurization. It's not so much the algae terrariums, but the amount of polluted water they put out, because it's the polluted water and the vents that are providing most of our oxygen at the moment. If you look at the oxygen generation table, the deodorizer is producing more than the terrariums, significantly more. So we've got 7.8 out of the terrariums, but we've got 136 kilos, it's 9.1 and 143 kilos coming out of the deodorizers. So that's where most of our clean oxygen is coming from at the moment. Right, have we got a power wire connected? No, we haven't. We're going to get that done before we seal it up then as well. Yeah, Meep, you're going to get cooked up there, mate. It's like 100 degrees. I'd just kind of ignore that if I was you, yeah. Don't worry about it. Just get this wiring done, that's the important bit. Change that to a priority 5, I think. You can do that one, Nails, but then get your butt out of there and get this lot finished. And then we'll seal it up. You can always do the other bit from the outside later. Right, priority 8 on the rest of this. Let's get the water in there. There we go. This is just an upgrade to insulated pipe. Just to... no, just kind of doubling up on the insulation. I should have done that in the first place. But I thought, well, I'll run it up the insulated tiles and that should be enough. And then I thought, no, because eventually that will just heat up. So if we put the insulated pipe in there as well, there should be no chance of that heating up with the double insulation. Well, that's the plan anyway. Right, so we've got our toilets upgraded. What's next on the research list? I think we'll go with some... oh, we've got smart storage. In that case, we'll have low resistance conductors, I think. And we can focus on upgrading our wiring as we get some more metals. Of course, we aren't going to have any easy lead on this, so whatever metals we're going to get are those that we refine ourselves. So we set them to make a bit more iron, I think. I don't want to waste the aluminium until we get to proper refining levels. I wonder if our little mineral thing will do that. Let's have a little look. Have we got that yet? Refinement. The mineral mill. This does some quite interesting conversions. It is quite power hungry, mind. I think we'll cancel that. We'll put it down here. Near the coal generators. Mineral mill. I saw the compost processor in there. What's that? Converts polluted water and crushed rock into dirt. It's quite an interesting one. To have a look on here, just make sure there's no others that I haven't seen. You never know as they come up. Right, oh, we've got more water over here. That's 75 degrees. That's going to need some Atmo suits. Do we have any reed fibre? No, we don't. So we need to find a slime biome we can crack into, or we need to farm some Drekos. Neither of which is particularly practical at the moment with the number of dupes we've got. Let me think. So they built our mineral mill now. So this is what we've got on here. Now on the face of it, it looks fairly innocuous. We've got abyssalite tungsten. That's a pretty interesting one. You take 500 kilos of abyssalite, it turns it into 30 kilos of tungsten, 420 kilos of crushed rock and 50 kilos of wolframite, which is quite nice. Then you've got granite to iron, which takes 500 kilos of granite, turns it into 100 kilos of iron ore, 300 kilos of crushed rock and 100 kilos of aluminium, which again is quite nice. We've got there is one that does crushed rock to sand, so you can grind up the crushed rock to sand, and the others are fairly innocuous at the moment, but probably will become useful as they add a use for some of the others. So we've got obsidian to sand and crushed rock, and sandstone to electrum, which, well, I don't think electrum's in the game yet. It's one of the elements available, but not of any real use at the moment. So yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't think we'll use that at the moment. I've certainly got no use for wolframite and tungsten at the moment. Although if we get tight for it later on, then that's a fallback option, I think. So we need a slime biome, and I can't see any down. Oh, what's that? That looks potentially like a slime biome. Got a germ overlay. No, can't see anything on the germ overlay. I'm sure there is some slime there. Let's dig down and see what we can find. Certainly some water there, and we can use that, but it's very, very warm. Looks like we might have another geyser there. Let's have a look at the top, see if there's anything up here that we can see. No, nothing I can see there. That doesn't mean to say there isn't anything there, but there's certainly nothing visible. I don't want to go out to the sides because we've got all this chlorine there on both sides. We're kind of flanked by that. So I think what we'll do is we'll dig up and we'll dig down and we'll see what comes into view. I think that's as much as we can hope for at the moment. I don't really want to get into there though, if it's 70 odd degrees, because we'll just scald them. So we'll dig down and see what comes into view, and we'll put these on a high. They're on a high priority already, so that's nice and simple. Right, so let's skip forward while they dig those. I've just realised I've messed up here. I've got these roller snake ranches and I haven't put in a shearing station. So we're not going to get anything out of them if we don't put a shearing station in. What are we feeding them at the moment? Sandstone. So we need to feed them some obsidian, don't we, to get the tough roller snakes. But then of course we need to leave them in carbon dioxide as well. At the moment these slicksters are making short work of all the carbon dioxide, which doesn't really help us. Right, research. Next up. Got that. I think I'm going to start getting together the research to make a self-powered oxygen maker. This is okay for oxygen, but I think as we start expanding, rather than risk overpressurization, I'll get a self-powered oxygen maker going with some compressor storage, and we'll have that as a reserve, because we're certainly going to run. Hang on, we've got another slime biome here. Right, what's the temperature? That's 33. That's a bit more reasonable. Let's keep going up here then. Go there. Dig across. Looks like we might have a neural vacillator as well, so that'll be handy. Right, so we need to put a shearing station in. Shearing station, and they need power, I believe, so it's only 60 watts, so we can afford to overload the grid that little bit more. Most of the things aren't being used at the same time. This liquid sieve isn't being used at all. The rock crusher's only been used from time to time, so it's only really the research that's sapping into our power. Oh, and the pump, of course. Mustn't forget the pump. We can take that a bit higher. What's the state of the pipe looking like? Yeah, we're mostly getting over pressurized there, so we can run that pipe up and send some more. More slicksters. Slicksters everywhere. We're going to dig through there and round up that roller snake. And we'll also get that on priority 9 as well. Got some thimbleweed, refiber. That's handy, because that's what we were going for. That's my main reason for coming up here. Let's see how far up this slime biome goes. A bit of water there. I don't want to dig that out yet, so where's it going to go? It's going to come down here, isn't it? Let's put a little shallow pit in to catch it. And then we can do something with it from there. Can probably just run it through the water sieve and chuck it straight back in there. So we're going to have some temperature issues because that water is pretty toasty. So we've got another gravitas building here, so we'll dig into that as well. See what's going on there. Still not got through there. What we do need is a fire pole. Speed up their transit a bit, and that might get us a little bit through this a little bit faster. I'll skip forward till they've got this done. Okay, so they've got that done. I've also had to box this in to stop it pouring out the oil. What I did was I just cancelled the fire pole here, corner built these bricks, and then reinstated the fire pole build. I've also extended the oxygen feed up to here because it's a little bit low pressure. We're not in Atmo suits yet, so yeah. I've changed the routing of the ladder. I was going to take it up this side so that all the water dropped down there. But there isn't too much water, but I have hit yeah, another building, which is going to make life interesting. I think what I'll do is build another ladder. No, actually, well, I'll just take it across, can't I? I can just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. That's not quite the right positioning, but it'll do. So we'll dig this out. Bit of a lag there with the save game. And we'll dig this out as well. I don't want to disturb that thimbleweed. I want that to keep growing there. And once they've dug all that out, then we'll let all this water down to the bottom. So what we can do is take it across and underneath, can't we? Give it a nice big large tank. Okay, I'll just let them get that done. Well, that didn't take them too long. So we will just release the Kraken. I mean, release the water. And just pray it all goes down that way. I might need to just put a little block here, just to make sure it doesn't go down this side. And digging I'll put at priority 6, I think. So I've while that was going on, I just templated in a little couple of rooms here. I've put in some dispensers so we can drop all our storage down here. And these rooms with some little stairs down, I'm hoping to fill the bottom of both rooms with carbon dioxide. And that won't work if I put that there, will it? So we'll deconstruct that and deconstruct that. What I want to do is put a layer of carbon dioxide in the bottom of there, and well, yeah, there'll be our roller snake, tough snake rooms. So if we can put fill the bottom with carbon dioxide, the top can be oxygen, so the dupes have got some, they can breathe. Then yeah, that should well, I'm hoping that would do the trick as ranches for the tough snakes, and we can get some steel out of them. We'll see. Of course, we don't have much obsidian to feed the existing roller snakes, so how successful that will be, I have no idea. Apparently, it looks like they've eaten all the obsidian already, so I wonder if any of them have got a 2%. Let's just pause it so we can just scroll through them. 2%. Not 2%. 2%. 2%. No, it doesn't appear to have made any difference so far. So we will need to get some more obsidian if we're going to make an impact on that. Right, okay, so this is interesting. This is going to leave that water trapped. I think we can just go straight down through the slime biome, tunnel it out from underneath, and just leave this intact. And then we can later go in there and sort out all the water. Which is good, like that. Priority 8 on that. Right, how many tiles is that room? Should 100. Interesting. So these stairs looks like they're classed as like a ladder, so they don't actually take up any tiles, which means if I go like that, move that door in, and then put regular tiles like that, that will give us 2 CO2 traps in the bottom. I think that will work. We'll get rid of the natural floor. I don't want that in there. It's about time we started making this base look a little bit respectable. Quite like that mod. It makes sense to just put in a ladder there. They move sort of along these much faster than they do going up and down a ladder, so I think that's a pretty good little use of that. Let's just check the room sizes. No, we can't because it's not finished yet. As soon as they finish building these tiles, we'll check the room sizes again. How are we doing up here? Not done anything yet. Okay, so let's skip forward while they're sorting this out. Okay, so they've done all that. We've now got little rooms here for our tough roller snakes when we get any. Obviously I can't set those at the moment because we don't actually have any morphs to allow us to select it. But yeah, that's ready. We'll prioritise obviously this bottom one because that's already got a nice layer of CO2 in there that the snakes should like. We've run this pipe up here. I've actually doubled up on the pumps now, just because the pressure was still like 4 kilos in here. This appears to have dropped it down nicely to about 2.8 kilos. The rest of the place it's not too bad. Yeah, quite happy with that, and that gets us a lot more oxygen pumped up. We're obviously at max pressure at these areas, so that's sending some up here, which will repressurize these areas and allow these spiky succulents to grow because they were getting stifled. I'm just going to mop this oil up that's spilled down here. They still haven't dug out these, so let's change the priority on those to a 9. So we can get that water drop down and then we can continue on our journey upwards. How are we doing at the bottom? Yeah, that looks good. We've got plenty of scope there for dropping all that water down. Oh, we're going to hit magma from the looks of it. So we won't be going any further in that direction. So yeah, I mean obviously there's no oil biome on this, so that makes sense, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Let's just copy it. Take a snapshot. No, is that right? Is that the right spacing? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's the right snapshot. I don't know, it just looked a bit wrong, obviously because of the inclusion of those other tiles there. Right, so we'll just mark this all the way down so that we've got all the correct spacings. Now I can't see it. Oh, there we go. There we go. I obviously made that a bit too wide, more than I intended to, so we'll just cancel that. Okay, doesn't want me to cancel it apparently. There we go, that's better. So that will just give us some a reference point to work off when putting the ladders in down here to tunnel this all out. Really should remember to use the shift key. Right, save game. Let's get this in. An odd shape, this slime biome. Just two next to each other, because it kind of builds them in circles. So it's obviously done it in twos there. Right, let's dig. This like that. This is just going to be a standard priority dig, just so that we can get some of this churned out. I want to do that. Ooh. Look at that, look, that's magma there, and because it's a vacuum in there, this hasn't got hot. So we've just got a little magma bubble there. Better not dig that out, because that will release all that heat. 1624. Glad I spotted that. Right, so that's that all queued up to be dug out. And they still haven't done this. Can they not reach it or something? No, they can't reach it. Oh, I see what's happened. Where I put that block in, they can't get past it. That's why they're not doing it. Makes sense. We've got a lot of salt biomes up there from the looks of it. Got some new principles available. Let's see what we've got in there. We got some steel or some spicy tofu. Well, we've been a little bit tight on food for a while. Normally I'll just take the steel without hesitation. But you know, I'm going to give my dupes a treat. They deserve it. They're working hard. They're getting things done. I think they deserve some lovely, delicious, spicy tofu. Right, deconstruct these ladders here. And we're going to move the pitch pump up there because this is starting to fill up with water now. Actually, no. No, cancel that. I'm going to leave that in. And I'm going to deconstruct the tiles up here. method behind my madness here. I'm going to drop this down slightly. And that's going to be the max level. That will act as a restriction on the level. Right. Yep, happy with that. I say that's left a nice little layer of carbon dioxide in there. We've just got to wait and get some obsidian from somewhere. Can we dig this out now, dupes? Yeah, cool stuff. Oh, bit of slime lung. Sorry about that. Eee, now you got some soggy feet to go with it. I'm such an evil overlord. Don't blame me. Blame the guy who designed the map. Making all these obstacles for me to go around. Be throwing volcanoes in my path next. Right, so we've got those succulents set. Now, as I've got older, my teeth have given me quite a bit of a lisp, and trying to say set those succulents to harvest is a bit of a challenge for me. Oh dear. So you can't select these to deconstruct them until you've actually opened this room up, and you need to submit a bioscan here. So we'll need to dig this out here, send them up into that room, and then we can demolish whatever's in there that's in our way. We'll obviously demolish that spicy tofu in a hurry. That's pretty good. Oh, I've done it. I've swept that bit, so they're just sending it in a loop. Right. So I'm still trying to do this. I'm trying to build these walls from the outside so they don't radiate out too much heat. Some more polluted oxygen up here. We'll need to get some deodorizers in there. Doesn't really matter because slime lung's pretty weak sauce these days. Even playing on these settings, it's really not a big issue. Right, that's oxygen. So we'll get some deodorizers up here. You do unfortunately have to spam them about a bit to get any kind of result with them. Otherwise we'll just be waiting forever for it to clear that polluted oxygen. We'll put one there as well. That should do the trick. Okay, I'm going to fast forward while we get all this digging out and all these deodorizers built, and then we'll move on with the next project. Remember how I said in the early episode that I was always going to move the bedrooms and that I always forgot to plan around the layout of the bedrooms to start off with? Well, I've got that taken care of. So we've now got space for 24 dupes, and I've plotted out the rest of the roller snake ranches for the regular roller snakes. So They're the ones that we'll be working on. We'll be working on them giving us food, and these ones will be working on giving us steel. Yeah, quite pleased with that. Right, so vent update, and this is a cracking one. Remember, we needed carbon dioxide. Well, what we've got here is a carbon dioxide vent. So what I'm probably going to do is box that in and put a pump on it. And I think it's liquid carbon dioxide, isn't it? Or is this oh no, this is the gaseous one at 500 degrees. So that'll be fine. What we'll do is we'll take the carbon dioxide out of here and we'll just drop it in here. But we'll put an Atmos sensor on here, so when it senses oxygen, it will just drop in some more carbon dioxide to keep the level down just below this level. Other than that, that won't do much. I put in a polluted water tank. I'm not going to wire in the pump, but I just wanted somewhere to sweep bottles of polluted water to. So they'll be sweep only, so we won't be in fact, actually I'm going to set those on priority 8, because if I want to send them to down here to try and stifle that, I'll want another bottle emptier down here that's set on priority 9. Not that we've needed that at the moment, because I think our pressure management system seems to be working pretty well. The pressure in here is high and the pressure out here is low, so yeah, obviously the few times they're zipping in and out of here isn't actually causing a problem. Right, anything on the printing pod? Right, I'm not taking a Volpup. I normally would, but I don't have anything to box them in with, so yeah, I'm not going to do that at the moment. Oh, we've got lots of twinkle toes here. Tidying, researching, decorating, supplying, cooking, and we've got digging, ranching, and decorating. Mouth breather or yokel? Sticker bomber or super productive? I think I'm going to go with Nisbet. Nisbet it is. Right, so we need to get Nisbet on a new schedule. And you'll notice I've also expanded the break times to 3 slots now. Just as the base is getting bigger, they need a little bit more time to get back and eat. So I thought I'd make sure I do that. Right, Nisbet, you can go on schedule 3. And I think did I see you liked husbandry? Yes, you do. So we will put you in. We're going to work you towards critter ranching. Yeah. So that would be perfect. So you can have a little improved farming hat. Frankie, I took on during the break. He's quite a good dupe. He's got no interest in farming or critter ranching, but he had suit wearing and twinkle toes, so I couldn't resist him really. He was just too good to pass up. Even if we spec him for critter ranching now, because we need critter ranchers, we can always spec him into something else later. With plus 10 athletics, it's just a no-brainer really. I mean, that guy will be moving fast around the base. I mean, he'll leave me on plus 4 if we put him in exosuit with no exosuit training. So, yeah. That really is a no-brainer, as far as I'm concerned. Got some more roller snakes down here. Let's wrangle those up, because we've got the ranches for them now. Copy settings, 1, 2. Copy settings. And copy settings. So 2 of these I think are set to feed them obsidian, yeah, and the other ones are just set to feed them sandstone. So they got some regular rock to eat and some sandstone. Some obsidian when we've got it in stock. And I do need to have our butchers round and try. Let's do that now. Invent. We've got another vent up here, which I'm just set them to take a look at, and I think I saw another one up here as well. So obsidian wise, let's have a little look. Mineral, there's a little bit of obsidian, that granite, obsidian, granite. Trouble is, granite and obsidian looks the same on this map. That's obsidian. Yeah, that's definitely obsidian, so we could dig across and get that. If I set that to dig across, and dig. We'll just leave that so that they can at least climb back up. That should be fine. Yeah, there shouldn't be any traps there. And we'll give that a little bit of priority 9 because we do need that obsidian quite badly. Come on, save game. I mean, I say badly. We don't need to get steel at the moment, but you know, with the absence of an oil biome, I think the quickest way to get some steel is going to be to ranch these tough roller snakes. So we've got the oh yeah, the chances of getting them is improving. No, not on that one. Oh, so this right job to get nailed. So we'll just have to keep an eye out for them. And what I'll do is I'll put some automatic dispensers here, set to take the tough roller snake eggs. Okay, I'll put them in this one first because that one's the one with the most carbon dioxide. Once the eggs hatch out in here, then we can set the critter drop-offs, and then we're laughing. Good, good. Right. So all those bedrooms are set up. We could probably do with decorating them a bit, couldn't we? So we'll start with my default method. We'll start with... Actually, no, I'm not going to make them out of aluminium ore because we're going to become tight for aluminium ore soon. Because you only get what's in the starting biome. And later on I'm going to want that for making... radiant pipe, because it's the #1 for radiant pipe. So we've got that nature reserve yet? No, we haven't got a nature reserve. 110 tiles, nature reserve park sign. Oh damn, it classes that as industrial machinery, does it? Well, in that case we shall replace that with a couple of doors. That'll get rid of the industrial machinery. We'll leave these doors open, obviously, to smooth access. We can do the same with this one as well. Open priority 9. Open priority 9. Just open all these doors where it doesn't matter. I'm not going to open the bedroom doors at the moment because of all the... we've still got a few shine bugs hovering around. Settings. There. There. Oh, I think Camille's got a bit of slime lung. I better think about getting a hospital in place at some stage, hadn't I? Never mind, the rest of the world's got slime lung, so I'm sure she can cope. Right, I want to get these water aqua bulbs as well. That water, I could drop that down and just drop it down the side, couldn't I? Need to dig that out. Need to deconstruct that tile. Need to dig that. We need to put a ladder straight up there and dig that across. There we go. And deconstruct that. Rummage that. Deconstruct that. Cool, cool. It'll take me a while to dig this out because it's on a low priority. You done that obsidian yet? Not yet, but you work. Oh, what have you done there? You got trapped on a bit of sand. Go on, mate, dig that down. You'll be able to get it out then. Off you go. Sorry, mate. Didn't notice you standing there. Right, how much reed fibre have we got now? Reed fibre, we have 26. How much refined metal have we got? 825 kilos. That's enough for a couple of Atmo suits. So not quite enough yet. Food wise we're okay. We've got Hexalent, we've got pickled meal. Not the best food going, but you know, they'll have to live with that for the time being. Right, what research are we going to do next? We've got that Atmo suits researched. Oh, what the hell? So we've got choice of fossil fuels, plastic manufacturing, solid transport, or smelting. I think we're going smelting because I want to know what the advanced kiln does in detail. Right, any eggs we can kill off? Lava eggs would be nice because I'm not going to be farming ranches, so lavas. So we take some along here. We'll kill them off, I think. Pips, no, we're not going to get rid of our pips. I like my cats. They're all in there, ready to pounce into action once we need some farms planted. I could actually kill off those slicksters and make some barbecue, couldn't I? And all they're doing is snaffling all the carbon dioxide, and maybe I'll leave these ones down here, and then we'll just get rid of the ones in some of the other ranches higher up, other biomes higher up. Right, so we've got some lockers here to rummage. And we've got a light fitting to deconstruct for some steel. We can dig across here, and then we've got access to another neural vacillator. Although to be fair, we can probably take this ladder up, can't we? Then we can go have a peek at what's going on in there. No, I think I'll leave it that way because I can run this salt water down this side and just drop that in this mixed water tank we've got there. Right, what I'll do is I'll take that down and get rid of that deodorizer. It's got lots of fossil here, so I'm just going to grab that. We'll take this ladder up further. Oh no, don't want to do that. Bit of natural reed fibre going on there. Yeah, I know it's not ideal, but you know, at the moment we've got natural reed fibre growing. I'm not gonna do away with it because it saves us doing anything to build some more up. Aluminium ore, athletics, caregiver, anemic, researching, doctoring. I think I'll take the wart seed actually. Yeah, we haven't got many of those, and if we need to do any emergency cooling, that will come in handy. How are we doing in here with the water? It's okay. So yeah, what the plan for this pump, this will send water into the same loop as the toilets, which will cause it to overflow out of here and send it into our sanitisation room. That one then will pump the water back into the return line and put it in here. The only concern I've got is if this backs up and this is full, we'll end up backing up the toilets. But I don't think we're going to have that much polluted water to deal with. I mean, it's a constantly diminishing reserve because as it turns into oxygen it disappears here, so we're using a tiny amount of water for the algae terrariums. That's making oxygen. The polluted water is then also making oxygen and it's gradually disappearing. So this is only for any excess really, probably from places we mop up around the map. What have we got in there? 8 of 8, 8 of 8, 0 of 8. That needs stocking up. Got that obsidian yet? Yeah, we've got 7.3 tons of it. Fantastic. That should... Right, I'm going to stock these critter feeders up. I'll use priority please for that. So I'll be right. Right, so that's priority please done with. While they were swooping up that obsidian from down here, I've just done a little bit of digging, a little bit of ladder building, or ladder blueprinting so that they can dig it out. Trying to make some space so that we can get some projects in. No, I don't want igneous rock. I want to make it out of sandstone because that's the local material. So we're just going to put those in, dig this out, deconstruct that. I'm just generally just, you know, I'm feeling cute. Might core out some biomes later kind of way, you know. Gonna leave the tree because it's going to produce some lumber in the background. Although not, we're going to be short of lumber with all these pips down here. They've been busy. Might give them an expansion actually. Why not? Let's treat them, shall we? We'll get this uprooted. I found a little trick. You know how annoying it is when you dig up a seed and you wait for a dupe to come and collect it. And the pips come along and they replant it again, and you're like trying to get them to do one thing, and well, I found a little trick. Let me show you something in a minute when this is done. I'm going to deconstruct that ladder. I'm going to put a wall in there. No, I'm not going to put a wall in there. I'm going to put a door in there. No! Made a bit of a hash up of that, didn't I? Oh, will you? Put that there. Dig that out. Dig that out. So, come on, dig these plants up. Priority 9. I'm pretty sure this works. Or, from my observations, it appears to have worked. So, we'll see in a minute. What I'm going to do is set this to compostables, right? It is already set to compostables. You see I've got oxyfern seeds, fungal spores and millwood seeds. They're all set to compostable. But it doesn't matter because I haven't got a compost heap. So they're never going to get composted. But right. So what we're going to do is going to put a door in the ceiling. And we're going to leave it open. So the pips can get up here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these seeds to compost. Now, I'm not going to sweep them. I'm just going to leave them set on compost. Alright. So, I don't know if we've got any other seeds here. Just do a scan. Millwood seeds times 2, yeah. Right, so they're all set to compost now. So we'll get this door built. And we've got a lot of arbor acorns here, so we can get this door built. Come on, hurry up, dupes. I'm trying to demonstrate something here and you're slowing me down. Millwood seeds there, we'll set those to compost as well. So we'll open this door and that'll let the pips in upstairs. Now, what we need to find out is, will they plant arbor trees, or will they replant all these seeds that I've just set to compost? Haven't built those doors. All my pips are going to escape. They'll all be off down here, and yep, I knew it. Right, so he's taking a seed up, and he's planting an arbor tree. But are they actually going to ignore those seeds? I think they are, and that is a real useful breakthrough in pip behaviour, that they won't plant seeds set for composting. That's going to make planning out natural farms so much easier. I shall have to do a Meat Talks episode on that. Right, so now I've got 5 or 6. That will allow more of these to hatch, and they can build more trees up there. No problem. Loving it. Priority 9 on the deconstruct ladders, please. We don't need those there anymore. Right, new printables. Set spicy tofu again. Right, we've got some skill points to allocate from the looks of it. Frankie, you're into critter ranching now. Ada, I'll give you grilling too. Meep, we can work you towards mechatronics. Camille, you're okay at the moment. Max, you and Nails can have exosuit, and then we'll get you mechatronics as well, because it's no good having a mechatronics engineer to build mechatronics if they're not set to build as well. So I always try and spec my builders into mechatronics once they've got everything else, and then that way they've got high priority building and they've got the skill to build the mechatronics stuff. So yeah, that's another thing I've noticed when you're trying to get stuff built. Right, so we'll get the Mirthleaf seeds in there. We'll get a few in there as well. I don't think any of these beds are in use yet. So, right, that's all getting cored out now. So, you know, I want to build a self-powered electrolyzer, but I just can't see the point at the moment because this is working so well. I suppose the only point is to get some hydrogen fuel, really. Because the hydrogen, you know, does produce a surplus of power that we can use to run other things around the base. But I guess, you know, we've got the coal. Oh no, we're a bit low on coal, actually. Didn't realise that. Maybe we do need to look into an alternative source. Let's have a look. What coal have we got around the map? Quite a lot. I might just dig this out then. Might as well. Cancel that, but we'll leave that pinch peppers plant there. Right, okay, now it's getting polluted oxygen in here. So what is off-gassing? Let's just see. Oh, it's probably slime, isn't it? It's off-gassing. Right, okay, I'm going to just dig this out, get rid of the polluted oxygen in here. Turn it into a decent chlorine chamber. And we'll brick it all in, because with my luck I'll forget what I've done there and end up messing it up for later. There we go. Just make that whole priority 9, get it done quickly, and that coal, because otherwise our generator's going to run out. Good stuff. Right. Okay, I'll just skip forward while they're getting all that digging and other stuff done. Yeah, that's a lot of digging I've queued up. That's going to keep them busy for a little while, I think. So we've got all this section up here with the iron, igneous rock and algae. We've got all this section down here with gold amalgam, slime and algae. We've got two cool steam vents that we can take the water from. Yeah, so it's just zipping through now while they get this done. It's cycle 78 at the moment. Let's see how many cycles it takes to get them done. I shall fast forward and see how it goes. Well, this is taking far longer than I had hoped, but we are getting there. We're 22 cycles on. They've mostly dug out this section. They've completely dug out this section. This has gone dormant, so we're a little low on water. I am going to obviously access some more water, but I want to get Atmo suits in play. We have got some roller snakes, tough roller snakes. You can see them here rolling around. I've set up a little carbon dioxide vent running on a NOT gate, so if this senses carbon dioxide, it shuts this vent, and that vent is coming from our carbon dioxide vent. So pretty much exactly what I explained I was going to do. That makes life a little bit simpler. Of course, the problem we've got now is we're massively overloading our power grid. So I have upgraded all the wiring to conductive wire, which should hopefully bide our time, but you can see we're getting overloads all over the place, which is a bit of a pain. Not like I can do that until they finish making all the... We get a lot of scalding in here. It's dormant at the moment, so I thought we'd dig out all that fossil that was in there and get that processed at the mineral mill. Unfortunately, that draws a lot of wattage. You know, we're not really overstressing it, but we are hitting 1200 watts at times, and that's just, you know, although the generators can cope with that, the wiring can't. So yeah, that's the priority. All the iron that we're producing is going straight into this wiring upgrade. As you can see, pressure in here is quite low, which is allowing these to work well. The problem is that the algae terrariums are going to run out of water because we are out of water there, which is a bit of a pain. We've got 37 cycles to get this all cleared out, get the get all the fossil out of here. Let me just have a look. Where have we got? We got any fossil? I don't think there is any there, so that's okay. I've set up our butcher station for the roller snakes. We're getting a few in there, but to be honest, then nothing's really happening. I'm going to need to set up a shearing station in there as well, so I'll get that put in just so that they get a final shear before they go to their death. So I'll put that in, and I'll put the iron wire in to cope with that as well. But again, until we get this, I think what I'm going to do is I've got a dupe who is operating only, which is Gossman, and I think I'm going to just put him on operating. So his only job will be operating, and that means he's pretty much going to spend all of his life at the rock crusher. Got blueprints coming in. We've had some up and downs on the food at the moment, so I'm going to skip all of those for the time being. I had to put in another mealwood because we were that short of food, but that should be okay now. We've only got the 10 dupes, so I think we'll just allow it to catch up. So I'll check back in with you before the end of the episode, of course. Well, 40 cycles on in total since we first started digging all this out, and they seem to have got most of it done now. We've got nice little collections of oil. I took a tile out of here and dropped this oil out and mopped up the remainder. So that's all sorted. as soon as they've swept this out, which is liquids, then I'm going to seal this back up, and that's ready to start accepting water again. I might, no, just going to put another brick in there, I think, because knowing me, I will dig out this and then I'll just expose the whole lot, and yeah, it'll be a mess. So we've got decent sort of levels of carbon dioxide in here and a little bit of oxygen. It's not quite as segregated as I would like. We've got plenty of roller snakes now producing a little bit of steel for us. They don't produce an awful lot, but it's, you know, it's steel, so I'm not going to complain. The roller snakes up here are producing gold amalgam, so we've got a reasonable amount of gold amalgam as well. Roller snakes seem to be getting all over the place at the moment, so we'll wrangle them up. See, wrangle, yeah. Get them wrangled up and moved into the correct place. We've got some eggs coming out up here, so we'll sweep them out. Our butcher station is working out nicely. We're getting a little bit of barbecue through, not a massive amount yet, but we won't start to get masses of barbecue until we start putting in place a proper hatchery and start working from there. The tree planting is continuing. I need to open these doors actually. So I've expanded this quite a lot, with a view to moving into ethanol production later, and this will just grow and grow and grow and produce more and more unused lumber, so it'll be something we can fall back on nicely at the end of the day. I've just noticed that room is broken. It is broken. That's not good. Right, how many? It needs to be 30 tiles across, so that's there, just underneath that tree. So we'll put in a couple of doors under that. I think it was there, wasn't it? Just check that. Dig 30 tiles, yeah. I don't know how that got broken. So plan is, I'm going to seal up the bottom of the base, I'm going to seal up the top of the base, and we're going to have our Atmosuit docks here. I'm going to put a full Rodriguez here, and that will replace our low power oxygen setup, which has served us well, I'll be honest. I'm not gonna lie, it has been pretty good. We're starting to run a little bit low now, but I think that was because there's no water. So if you don't have enough water, then this doesn't happen. Main priority now is just getting in another. I'm going to put in another pitcher pump, and with that in place, actually I've got a just noticed we can probably just short that pipe there, and that will bung a little bit more in there. Not enough to make a difference, but if we remove these two sections, we can put another pitcher pump in here, get some more algae, get some more polluted water, and that should return us back into a positive situation fairly quickly. I'm going to stop, make sure that we're not pumping any more outside the base now, because we are going to seal it up, obviously. So any oxygen that comes out here will just remain within the main base area. When obviously we get the full Rodriguez in, that will fill everything up, and I'll probably get that queued up at the as we finish this episode, and then we'll have that ready to go and built for the next one. Oh, aquabulb sacks, that will come in handy. We'll get those converted into water, and they can get dropped off there. Or actually, they'll probably just take them straight to the algae terrariums. So yeah, so we are a little bit down on actually. We're producing 429 versus 501 consumed. So it's close. You know, it's not. We're only about 70 kilos short. We can soon make that up, and once we do, that'll give us the breathing space. If you'll pardon the pun, we need to get the full Rodriguez set up. You notice I've kept all this pinch of pepper in place. I just thought it'd be nice to leave that in place, you know. Looking at the how the map is panning out, it's quite interesting. I haven't come across. There is supposed to be frozen biomes in this, but I haven't come across one yet. It's quite an interesting layout. We've got an oil well over here, more of the desert biome. We've got saltwater biome here. Looks like more desert biome over here. Desert biome there. More desert up here with lots more oil and the same. And then we've got a lot of salt and another slime biome over here, as well as another slime biome over here. So we're going to be busy on this one. I think there's you know, although we're kind of struggling for resources at the moment, I think it's I'm not sure how the tiles work out. Yeah, there's only 800 metal per tile, so normally it's sort of 1200, I think, isn't it? So it's kind of metal poor, I think, in terms of its overall, and with no lead as well. It's kind of sort of had to make me think about different ways, and of course I've got a bit obsessed with getting these roller snakes set up. But I think, you know, we're doing a modded playthrough. I think it's important to utilise all the mods that we're using in a fun way, and you know, I think they're kind of cool. They're rolling around on there. We've got a bit of a mix going on in terms of the snakes. What's your egg chances? Yeah, so you're mainly 65% tough roller snake and 35% roller snake. But of course, you know, all the surplus is going into the butcher station. It's getting sheared for gold amalgam, and then getting turned into its ultimate form, which is food. So yeah, I think this is. Oh, look, the algae terrariums are back up and running again now. The insufficient oxygen warning has gone, so I think we are good to go there, and that will get us into the full Rodriguez next episode once they finish coring all this out. So hope you enjoyed the episode, guys. I've enjoyed it a lot. It's been a little slow going for me. You know, I'm used to playing expanding a bit more faster, a bit quicker, but what I have done, I think, is set up a better infrastructure. We've got infrastructure for bedrooms ready to take decor in between to get some really nice bedrooms going. We've got a great hall set up for it will be 28 duplicants. When this mealwood goes, we'll have a massive space to send all our duplicants out the side in Atmo suits, and then that will open up the rest of the map to quite fast expansion. We've got a bit of reed fiber now, 58 reed fiber. That's enough for what is it 2 or 4 per suit? Well, let's just say that's enough for 25 suits. So, because it's going to keep coming in anyway, we've got it harvesting from these up here. So we'll get some Atmo suits fueled by the Rodriguez next episode. That will give us an entry into hydrogen power, so we'll have some more power. I mean, we have run this entire base so far on 2 coal generators, and what are we up to coal? We've got 77 tons of coal left. We're getting a little bit of production from the roller snakes. So yeah, I think that's been quite successful. I mean, all the carbon dioxide has been recycled into oxygen through the algae terrariums. We've used a carbon dioxide vent, and I mean, they're pretty much the most useless vents in the game, unless you're really big into slicksters, which I'm not. And I don't think we're going to need slicksters. I think there's plenty of oil on this map. There's certainly plenty of water. We've got three? Got 1, 2, 3 cool steam vents. I'll put a pump down here made out of some of the steel we've got. We've got some Pacu in here. Got quite a lot of Pacu in here, in fact. So yeah, I think we're good to go. I think it's going to be a great little series, this one. and it's really stretching my brain to try and utilize all the new stuff that's in there and make it a fun episode. So yeah, great stuff. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode.